Hello. Welcome, everybody, to the 2023 State of the City. We're going to get started in about 5 minutes. I just wanted to let you know so you can find your seats. If you need to have a vegan meal, grab a card at registration. The servers are here to refill coffee, and we are so excited to have you join us today for the 2023 State of the City. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. If you can please find your seats, we are going to get started. Like, the lighting. I'll say it a little bit louder. If you could please find your seats so we can get started. This is where I can barely see through the lights, but I can start to call out people by name. It's a fun game I like to play. Look at Sinead. She's taking a leadership role, sitting down. I can see Lance is looking for a seat back there. No? Gonna stand? All right, everybody. Well, we're gonna get started. So if I can ask for your attention. We know that there is still a lot of folks working to park because I don't know about you, but it is cold out today. So we all decided to drive versus getting our steps in. I'm gonna have to do like the ding, ding, ding. I need a blowhorn. I have no whistle. Well, good morning, everybody, and it's so wonderful to be with you on this sunny and very brisk, cold February morning here in Spokane. I am Alicia Benson, and I am the CEO of Greater Spokane Incorporated, and it is our great honor to have continued to be the longtime host of our State of the City. And so we're pleased that you're able to join us today for this really wonderful and important conversation with our mayor. I want to thank our member partners who are with us today for your trust and investment with us that allows us to tackle business challenges day in and day out. Things like this morning, I was even running in late as we were waiting to testify at our state legislature on some important pieces here for our region and the work that we do as your ADO. So I just want to say a big thank you to our members for your investment that helps us continue to support this great Spokane region and help our businesses grow and prosper. And a very special thank you to our partner today, the City of Spokane and Mayor Nadine Woodward, whom we'll get to hear from here in just a few minutes. So first, I want to invite my colleague, the Director of Marketing and Communications, Yolanda Pagodowin, up for our land acknowledgement.
Good morning. We are honored to acknowledge that the Greater Spokane Incorporated office and the various locations of convening for business and events are located on traditional and sacred homelands of the Spokane tribe. We also acknowledge that the Spokane region we serve spreads across the traditional and sacred homelands of the Confederated Tribes of the Colville, Kalispel tribe, and Nez Perce tribe. These lands hold indigenous cultural DNA and are honored, and we are honored and grateful to be here on traditional lands. We give thanks and respect to the legacy of the original peoples, tribal leaders and elders, and their descendants. We pledge to honor their stewardship and values. On behalf of all of GSI, our Board of Trustees, and our member partners, Haishka.
Thank you, Yolanda. Next, I'd like to invite Pastor Benjamin Watson to the stage for our invocation. Pastor Watson is the senior pastor at Bethel African Methodist Episcopal Church, and he is here this morning with his beautiful wife, Evangelist Debbie Watson. Pastor.
Let us pray. All-seeing, knowing, and wise God, we beseech you this very moment in this dispensation. We thank you for your love toward all of humanity, the indigenous, the African, the Asian, and the European. America was founded by people who believed that you were their rock of safety, their bridge over troubling waters, a lighthouse in the midst of their storms. They knew you to be a strong tower and could lean on you. Today we too come acknowledging our need for your strength and wisdom. We lean on you and need you to be our compass, navigate us through our issues that divide us, both great and small. Lord, give us grace that we all need to take care of each other, to see one another as sisters and brothers. In these uncertain times when the balance of power among the branches of government is being tested, unite our men and women of faith who serve in an elected capacity to remember the oath of office they took, to be vocal and effective in public discussions and actions which uphold their commitment to humanity, to protect those who are vulnerable, marginalized, and in need of a helping hand. Let your wisdom, love, and mercy rule their hearts and minds to pass laws and policies that are dignified and based upon your word, that would comfort widows, orphans, and the homeless, to do more to improve their lot in life each day. I pray for our Mayor Nadine, that she would be strengthened like Daniel, whose dependency on you did not waver, and his steadfastness served as a beacon that drew kings to seek the wisdom he embodied. I pray for all of our city leaders as they seek your wisdom. I ask you, God, to impart into these individuals a desire to tackle our city's issues through actions and words that are both serious and lively, that would startle the disengaged within our communities into listening and being a part of the resolution. Strengthen our resolve to be influential in our communities, neighborhoods, and city that will bring partnerships, collaborations, and healing. Help each of us to become willing vessels to use our uniqueness you gifted to us to bring about the needed changes for the greater good. In closing, God, let the same grace and mercy you extend to us, may we extend that same grace and mercy to one another, realizing we are imperfect beings functioning in an imperfect world while trying to emulate a perfect, intelligent, all-wise God. Father, we also ask for those of us that need it, a blessing upon the food that we're about to receive and partake of. May it serve as a strengthening and a nourishment to our physical bodies. We ask these blessings in the multiplicity of names by which many of us may call you by, recognize you, and honor you by. Amen.
Thank you, Pastor Watson. Beautiful. Next, I'd like to invite on stage Sydney Dale. Sydney is a junior at Lake City High School in Coeur d'Alene. She's also one of the Gonzaga University's national anthem singers, and just recently contracted with an artist development firm in Nashville, where she'll be getting a chance to write new songs with well-known singers and songwriters. Sydney's here today with her father, Major Jeremy Jake Jacobson from Fairchild Air Force Base. Please rise and stand for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
That was amazing, Sydney. And as a little heads up for anybody going to the Gonzaga game tonight, I hear we might get to hear her again. So thank you for being here with us. As lunch is served, if you just arrived, please find a seat, fill in. There's a number of open seats across the room. And I'm glad that as folks got here early, we'll have time at the end. One of the benefits of having the opportunity to be a convener is to be able to bring new people together and welcome folks and reconnect. And I was having a wonderful conversation with the pastor and his wife about the importance of reconnection more and more every single day. As we gather, we want to make sure that we're continuing to create platforms for you to gain important information, hear up-to-date information, understand policy decisions that are being made. And it's part of your investment in GSI that allows us to be able to do this. At GSI, we're committed to this work and to the collaborative heavy lifting that it takes for all of us to get it done. I want to take a moment to recognize some of our most invested partners and our sponsors of today's event. Today's event is presented by Numerica Credit Union. Our major sponsor is Spokane Corporate Housing. Our supporting sponsors are Idaho Central Credit Union and Washington State University Spokane. And our event sponsors are Spokane Public Facilities District and Whitworth University. And our official airline sponsor, Southwest Airlines. It's now my pleasure to welcome to the stage Nancy Almond, Senior Vice President and Program Manager of Numerica Financial Services, along with Josh Melcher, who's the Senior Vice President of Business Services with Numerica Credit Union. Welcome, Nancy and Josh.
Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us for the State of the City address today. I'm Nancy Allman, and I'm a Senior Vice President for Numerica Investment Services.
I'm Josh Melcher, Senior Vice President of Business Services. Numerica is honored to be your sponsor today. Thank you, GSI, for putting on such an important event.
Numerica has been sponsoring and helping businesses expand and supporting our nonprofits across Spokane for 85 years. We're headquartered in Spokane Valley, and that means that our employees live and work in the communities and where our members are. This past year, our lending team provided more small business loans than any other credit union across the state of Washington. Our passion is finding ways to say yes. Saying yes means we're giving back to the organizations that are making a tangible difference. In 2022, Numerica sponsored 170 organizations and with donations and volunteerism. We invested more than $1 million with community partners, and our employees volunteered more than 18,000 hours. Numerica is committed to living out our core purpose of enhancing lives, fulfilling dreams, and building communities.
One way we do this is through the Numerica Charitable Fund. This program allows nonprofits to apply for grants. In 2022, we were able to give back $300,000 to more than 20 nonprofits in our region. These grants went to organizations that offer support to our families in our community. From all of us at Numerica, thank you, GSI, and Mayor Nadine Woodward for putting on and bringing us together today. Please enjoy this video of our team celebrating the Numerica Charitable Fund partners. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, a big thank you again to Numerica Credit Union, and thank you, Nancy and Josh, for your words. Really appreciate it. I'm going to invite my colleagues, I think, Gary and Lisa, up to the stage.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello. Oh, we can do better than that. Good afternoon, everyone. Woo! We're here to, well, I'm waiting for Lisa to come up, so I can't go without my partner in crime.
It's good to see you.
It is good to see you, too.
Haven't seen you all week.
It's been like a week and a half. I've been gone.
Okay.
Sorry, I just walked here from GSI. I was testifying, so I might be a little out of breath. I'll just be, whew, no, we got this. We got this.
Okay.
So thank you, Nancy and Josh and Numerica Credit Union. Okay, Lisa, what is the most important thing that GSI does? It's obviously economic development.
Well, yeah, it's
As the
economic development, but that's because that's what you do.
Yes.
Sorry, I have lettuce in my tooth. But what I do is partner engagement. So I
Which is
would
pretty
say
cool,
it's
too.
engaging with our incredible partners and telling them how wonderful they are.
But for the folks in the room, it may be when we give away Southwest airline tickets.
Yes.
Yes,
That's very true. But I'm wondering if, like, why we don't ever get to have these tickets.
I think it's against the rules. I think,
All right.
yes.
All right.
So yes, you know, Lisa, people really do like getting free stuff.
Yes. I know. I didn't look at the script, Gary.
Oh,
That's
no,
why
that's
I'm
fine.
like,
You're fine.
I don't even know where we're at in the
Well,
script.
you have a
but
beautiful
yeah.
smile as
so
part of the
I'm like
script
looking
there.
at his script, but I have my script. Anyway, yes, thank you. I'm sure that people are very excited to hear who gets the giveaway this time.
You know
at
what?
this very moment.
Well, why don't we hurry and pick a winner?
Yes, that
we
would
could
be
just
so
riff for a little while.
wonderful.
I'm going to do that before you ask me to dance, which has been one of the things you have asked me to do up here. There's been a couple others, so.
No, but we
yeah.
have to practice our dance before the annual celebration.
No, correct.
saying.
So we need Southwest.
Yep. And then this is what we give away.
Okay.
Okay. I think I can handle this part, and then you can hand that out.
Okay, we can do that.
It probably doesn't help that my glasses are out at the check-in table, too. But it was in big type. Okay, so who is excited to hear who the winner is? Everyone put their business card in, right? Oh, dang. Okay, well, the only person that seems to have done it then, the winner is Carrie McCombs with Spokane Association of Realtors.
Must be present to win.
So this is a trip on Southwest for Carrie, and she gets to have 4 anywhere tickets that Southwest flies. So congratulations, and you didn't have to enter, I promise.
All right, and we will bring Alicia back up.
I don't know, we could make them all dance again. That would be entertaining. Congratulations, Carrie, and a big thank you to Southwest Airlines for continuing to partner with us so that we can send some of our great partners, at least right now, someplace warmer, maybe, than we have today. That partnership's been really awesome. So a couple more recognitions I want to make before we get an opportunity to hear from the mayor. I want to recognize our regional visionary partners at GSI who are fundamental to helping us drive our key initiatives and growth here in the Spokane region. You can see their names up there: Avista, Kohl's Company, BECU, Idaho Central Credit Union, Itron, Multi-Care Health System, Providence Healthcare, Numerica Credit Union, Spokane County, and Washington Trust Bank. Please join me in a big thank you to all of them for showing up each day. And then the part where I know you're all eating, but I'd like to make people stand up, sit down, those kinds of things. I'd like to ask those of you that are on our board of trustees, I know you're in the room, so if you can please stand up, as well as those of you that are key economic development partners and investors with us from the cities, from the county, from our partner chambers, Downtown Spokane Partnership. Stand up so we can give you a big round of applause because it's your leadership day in and day out that moves this community forward. You're relatively cooperative today in the standing up game. Sometimes it's a little harder. So thank you for that. And then a great distinguished group I want to recognize are the elected officials that are in attendance with us today. If you'll please stand so that we can recognize you for your leadership. From our Spokane City Council President Breanne Biggs, City Council, you can all stay standing, City Council Member Jonathan Bingle, City Council Member Michael Cathcart, City Council Member for the City of Spokane Valley, Ben Wick, City Council Member for the City of Spokane, Betsy Wilkerson. This is out of order, so I apologize for that, but I'm catching quick. And City Council Member for the City of Spokane, Zach Sapone. Thank you. Our mayors, Mayor of Spokane, Nadine Woodward, Mayor of Spokane Valley, Pam Haley, Mayor of Liberty Lake, Chris Kaminskis, and from our county commissioners, Commissioner Al French, Commissioner Mary Cuney, Commissioner Josh Kearns, Commissioner Chris Jordan, and Commissioner Amber Waldriff. And I also believe our Chief of Police, Craig Meidel. If I missed anyone, that's who we knew on the registration, but please stand up one more time so we can give you a big round of applause for your leadership on behalf of our region. And now, my great honor to introduce our Mayor of the City of Spokane, Mayor Nadine Woodward. Nadine was born and raised in Washington State. She's an award-winning broadcast journalist, mother, business owner, and proud Spokaneite. She's a champion for public safety, housing, homelessness, economic development, and mental health advancements for Spokane. She's twice been invited to attend the prestigious Yale Mayors and CEO College and led the unanimous passage by the U.S. Conference of Mayors of 3 separate resolutions supporting additional federal funding locally for community policing, mental health, and fentanyl prevention and enforcement. She established a mental health task force of regional behavioral health professionals to address the needs for youth and sits on the SAFE task force for fentanyl awareness and education. She's the 45th mayor of Spokane and the 4th woman to hold the office. Please give a warm welcome to our Mayor, Nadine Woodward.
Well, thank you all for being here today for the annual State of the City Address, especially those who powered through the cold morning to get here. Thank you. And Pastor Watson and Sydney, thank you for blessing today's event with your prayers and talent. That's one of the best parts of the program, I think. So anyway, thank you so much. We are excited to share with you today the things that we've been working on to move our city forward. My cabinet members who are here and their teams have achieved many great advancements in public safety, housing, homelessness, economic development, mental health, and other critical areas that makes us safer, more secure, and a sustainable city. So could I get my cabinet members to please stand up? I know you weren't expecting this, and department heads too, because I tell everybody a mayor cannot do this on her own. It takes a team, and I am so thankful to have such an incredible team. Thank you for all you do. To frame our conversation today, I want to share comments that a community member shared with me recently. She was part of a small group of neighbors who came to my office to talk about ideas and feedback on their observations and experiences in the circles that they travel. And as a relatively new nurse in her career, she was by far the youngest in this group. The others were retired, and they were focusing their time on volunteer opportunities, which she was able to still fit in around her full-time job. Besides a deep passion for the neighborhood that they live in the community that they love, the group had one thing in common. Each one of them moved here from a different city and state. They were drawn to Spokane for its beauty, biking, hiking, seasons, our walkable downtown, easy airport access to visit family and friendly people. They arrived in Spokane with years of civic engagement in their previous communities and quickly started thinking about how those experiences could be relevant in their new home of Spokane. When it was time for the young nurse in the group to speak, she paused and said, "There's not a lot of hope." For the next few minutes, she provided more context to that statement. She talked about working as a nurse in the jail before moving to an organization that provides underserved youth with the direction and supports most of them are lacking. She found this new job more fulfilling and a way to really make a difference. There's been a lot of devastation in the world lately, she continued, and she wondered how anyone can be successful in our current global environment. She was talking about financial stability, home ownership, achieving personal and professional goals. She considered herself lucky to finish her studies at Whitworth and WSU with modest, with modest debt compared to her friends. Yet now in her mid-20s and in a job that she absolutely loved, she was still overwhelmed about what the future may hold for her and those around her. There's no hope across many generations, she continued. Her comments were equal parts, I'll just say, heartbreaking, insightful, and inspiring. Heartbreaking because hopelessness can spiral into desperation. Insightful because in those few minutes she captured the sentiment of so many people after what our community has experienced the past couple of years. Inspiring because instead of giving up, instead of retreating to her work or the isolation of her home, instead of blaming or saying, that's somebody else's problem to solve, she asked herself, how can I help? And then she acted. She got involved in her neighborhood, surrounded with the people in her neighborhood who have a similar sense of community, bonded with neighbors who have enough experience with community engagement to know that individually they don't hold all the answers, but collectively they can make a difference. So they began talking. They shared their backgrounds, their dreams for community. They built from the strengths that they saw in the neighborhood and their daily activities and looked for opportunities to improve what they saw around them. For these 4 neighbors, public safety, housing security, and mental health were right at the top of the list of the things that were important to them. They wanted to make sure that people feel as safe as they do when they move around the community and enjoy recreation, arts and entertainment, dining, and all the other activities that they enjoy. They also acknowledged 2 things. First, not everyone shares the same feeling of safety. And second, property crime is not where they want it to be. They were also concerned about housing inventory, from a safe and consistent place for the unhoused, to someone just entering the housing market, to keeping someone currently in housing from being priced out. Their ideas range from some tough love for those who need it, to sincere compassion for the majority who find themselves at a point in life where they just need a hand up. We've had some difficult conversations as a city and as a country the past couple of years on issues like healthcare, politics, policing and public safety, and our economy. Thank you. They shared concern about how all of these things have impacted the mental health of our community. After about an hour of conversation, they came to the conclusion that Spokane as a community has tremendous effort. There's been progress made and so much opportunity. And despite what were clear philosophical differences on some issues, what really impressed me about them is that they listened to each other. They found common ground and respectively articulated the points that they were making from all sides of the discussion. Divisiveness and disruption played no part in their comments or the solutions they proposed. Instead, they chose a path of working together. So their stories really got me thinking about what we've been through the past couple of years and now where we're headed. We've accomplished so much to build a more safe and secure, sustainable Spokane, and yet, as we all know, there's so much left to do. Sometimes that can lead to a feeling of hopelessness. Oftentimes, that gets lost in the wedge that people want to drive rather than the common ground from which we really do strive to build on. Our job, our duty as leaders, influencers, friends, neighbors, community members, is to do everything we can do to minimize the hopelessness and bring a bright light to the progress. It's a way to make it comfortable to work together rather than to drag each other down. We've done a lot of listening in the community, and one hour of reflection, feedback, and conversation, these 4 neighbors captured what Spokane is currently experiencing and where we should all be focusing. A year ago, we pledged to work collaboratively towards solutions and outcomes that keep our community thriving and moving forward. And this year, we recommitted to that pledge, and we're more resolved than ever that there is a seat at the table for anyone willing to set aside differences and work respectively together on the things that Spokane truly needs. That cooperative spirit is what we need. That cooperative spirit must rise above the noise and the blame. Our greatest accomplishments are achieved through collaboration and compromise. Truly working together requires honest give and take, not blindly charging forward to achieve individual desires. And that must be done with respect and trust that comes without strings and devoid of retribution to be paid for any disagreement. The feedback we hear consistently focuses on the need to feel safe doing the things we all love about Spokane, to feel secure in our place in being, and to feel a sense of stability as we continue to build and grow our lives. While these 4 neighbors, I know I'm talking a lot about them, but they made an impression on me. They were sharing their own experiences. They spoke volumes about the community psyche. They remind us that this is not about any one of us. Instead, it's about every one of us. They and so many of their neighbors made it clear that government exists to govern for the people, not over the people. And this is what we hear when we listen.
The reason why I'm here in Spokane is because I love Spokane. I was born and raised here. I can't think of a better place I'd rather be. I've been all over the United States, but I serve a great God, and He's continued to bring me right here. We hear a lot of times, well, there's nothing going on for our kids here in Spokane. They say they should leave here. I'm in total disagreement with that, because I believe that once you go somewhere, if you decide you want to go out of town to go to school, to me, that's fine. But come back and give back where you started. I mean, because me here in Spokane, I just love Spokane. And
in order to really help our city move forward and make progress, we all need to come together. We all need to work together. We have to have similar goals in mind, and that goal is a place where our families feel safe and can go about their business without being worried about being victims.
I'm asked a lot, why is safety such a top concern? And really, it's because safety is that foundation. Once we are clean, safe, and welcoming, we can talk about these exciting things that are happening here. Spokane is an incredible community, and we have so much going on that's in our favor.
Momentum is something that you have to capture in the moment. You can't control it, you can't ask for it. I think if you don't take advantage of it, you'll lose it. And I think we're seeing that, and the city is rightly worried about that. And so being able to provide good services to people across a broad area is going to be really critical to keeping people here and continuing to attract new people and new talent and new businesses and all of those things that make the community richer.
The different business districts have different needs inside of what they're doing, and we need not to have a one-size-fits-all program and have it adaptive to be able to work. So our needs in, say, in the Sprague Union area are different from Hilliard or even Garland or, say, South Perry.
The engagement is critical, and again, that's one of the things that I'm so bolstered by in this neighborhood is the degree of engagement and the degree of caring, and how many people are willing to step up and do the work. It's not easy work. Sitting in commissions until 6 or 7 at night on a weekday is not easy, and it takes you away from your family and your business and all of that, but it's necessary, and I continue to be encouraged by the amount of that buy-in that I see.
collaboration is key, because you got to be able to communicate. When you can have positive dialogue, you can make things happen. Instead of, you get into a meeting and it's self. You got it's all about self. We need to take self out of it, see, where we can help somebody else. Because when we start thinking about somebody else and hearing about their problems, it makes our problems seem very, very minute.
I think one of the great things about our community and the people who I work with is a passion to make our community safer. And the people who I work with, they understand the limitations that they are experiencing and have to work in, but that doesn't dull or blunt their passion and their desire to help their community.
We as a community need to address every single one of those issues while saying we want clean, safe, and welcoming right-of-ways for everyone in our community to enjoy.
We need to start standing up and loving more, taking self out of it and loving more. When we can do that as a people, my favorite saying is, when we can come together collectively as a people, green, black, white, we got a beginning. When we can stay together, we have progress. But when we can work together, we got success. It's a win-win for us all.
You, Michael Brown from Fresh Soul, and everybody else who was in that video for their honesty and vulnerability. You heard some fundamental needs expressed there, and I always, the more you listen, the more you appreciate the power, conviction, and the vision in their stories. They want us to engage perspectives and to dedicate resources to deliver critical outcomes for our entire community. Public safety is a top priority. Everyone we talk to, every meeting we go to, every neighborhood we visit, public safety is the topic of discussion. Personal safety is essential to the choices we make as to where we live, where we work, where we pursue our passions. Because of that, Police Chief Craig Meidel and I made a commitment to increase public safety through a law and order approach. We heard from neighborhoods and businesses, individuals and organizations, and officers themselves about their strong desire to continue to improve how we serve. The feedback was consistent. People want more officers on patrol in their neighborhoods. They want to know the officers on patrol in their neighborhoods, and they want greater responsiveness to all levels of calls. The decisions we've made reflect that feedback. We've committed more resources to the things that support prevention and address root causes, like opening police precincts in the downtown and East Central neighborhoods that advance the community policing model and puts officers closer to the people they serve. We're several weeks into a new staffing model that puts more police on patrol in neighborhoods. Officers are assigned to work in one of 4 designated areas of the city, giving them responsibility and ownership for the neighborhoods in their sector. The model has already resulted in a new policing approach in Northwest neighborhoods based on what officers observed with recent burglaries. That analysis is guiding proactive tactics to reduce property crime. And that's exactly the type of officer-driven ideas that come from ownership of an area. And it's why SPD leadership work with officers to really listen and understand the community need. These officers shared that, above all else, they're frustrated because the community has an expectation they can't deliver within our current constraints. Officers feel like they're letting down the people they signed up to serve. So the department acted. Part of being efficient with our resources is deploying those resources to meet emergent needs. Violent crime has become a big problem in our community and in communities across the country. So we established a violent crimes task force of specially trained officers and supervisors to focus on removing prolific and violent offenders from the streets. Since becoming operational in June, that task force has arrested more than 24 individuals identified as prolific violent offenders and actively wanted for crimes like drive-by shooting, first-degree assault, and murder. The task force also works closely with local, state, and federal law enforcement partners, including a special emphasis on gang activity, to make best use of all of our resources. And they're building stronger cases with the goal of getting longer sentences to keep prolific offenders out of your neighborhoods. Our partnership between behavioral health professionals and our police officers to better address people experiencing a behavioral health crisis has been expanded by 20%. That partnership, which includes the Spokane County Sheriff's Office, has diverted 80% of the nearly 3,700 individuals who have been contacted from going to jail or to overcrowded and costly emergency rooms. The Spokane Fire Department has a similar program with behavioral health professionals to better direct the appropriate level of care in the field and in more formal settings. Our fire department has also partnered with SHREC, the Spokane Regional Emergency Communications Agency, to dispatch emergency, medical, and fire calls for help quicker, more efficiently, and much more cost-effectively. Partnerships have become a critical part of public safety. We emphasize that with our officers when we change their staffing model. And we're asking for your help today. Much like the young nurse and her Browns Edition neighbors, we're asking all of you, please be engaged. Invite your neighborhood police captain to your next association or organizational meeting. Speak up about the tools law enforcement need to be effective in your neighborhood. Let us know what's working and what isn't. Highlight the solutions that bring positive change rather than giving more attention to the challenges before us. That's how we'll move forward as a city. Chief Meidel and I have been regulars in front of the state legislature this session, testifying in support of bills to return accountability to laws that allow drug possession in our state. We're advocating for balance and common sense that requires individual buy-in to accompany treatment. We did have some successes last year, and we're back this year working for Spokane to return more of the tools that our law enforcement need. Our community engagement tells us that we're united around the fight against the fentanyl epidemic plaguing our country. People are overdosing at alarming rates, and much of the violence and property crime are directed to that epidemic. Bags filled with hundreds and thousands of pills are regularly a part of arrests that also include illegal weapons and cash. And if we needed one more reminder just how harmful this deadly drug is to innocent victims, we got it about a week ago. Fire and police responded to a call of an unresponsive child during a supervised visitation. CPR and Narcan were used to revive that child who tested positive for fentanyl. That child was only 14 months old. Sadly, we've allowed our state to remove some of the very interventions that help law enforcement redirect damaging behaviors. We're working hard to get a balanced solution that meets the needs of all involved, because as that example so devastatingly illustrates, drugs victimize the innocent. That's why I'm working with council members Michael Cathcart and Jonathan Bingle, thank you, they're here today, on an ordinance that would return accountability to those who openly use drugs. The community has demanded that we do something about rampant drug use that occurs on sidewalks, in parking lots, stairways, and storefronts. We'll be bringing that ordinance to the full council the next few weeks as another way to get people the help they need while respecting the use of public spaces for all of us. We're also advocating at the state level for additional funding to hire more police officers. The next phase in our new staffing model is to add even more officers in your neighborhoods, and we need the financial resources to do it. At the same time, we're imploring our legislature to send a strong message that property crime will not be tolerated by increasing penalties for repeat offenders. And we've joined other communities around the state in advocating for a return of police pursuits by lowering the standard to reasonable suspicion rather than the higher probable cause threshold to send an equally clear message that there will be accountability if you break the law. Unfortunately, that effort has been met with significant opposition from a West Side Committee chair, but we'll continue to work for Spokane. We must reestablish the expectation that victims of crime are heard and considered when laws are enacted in the interest of public safety. Too often, it's the victim that's left out of the equation. And as we listen, we spent considerable time exploring and understanding the why. We wanted to know what's driving perspectives and expectations. We're told it's a vision that includes affordable housing, healthy neighborhoods, economic advancement, and a community working together to achieve at the highest level.
You know, Spokane is a great community, and I think the people who live here are invested and they care, and ultimately, no matter what your belief is and how you feel, we all want the same thing, which is to live in a wonderful community where everyone feels safe and where we can enjoy our lives. We have ample outdoor space, hiking trails, the river, our lakes, golf courses are amazing, and then we have the access to the arts.
The employees going to lunch, going to dinner, going to happy hour, late night activities, theater, all kinds of vibrant civic amenities that we all know and love stem from a safe environment. When there is safety, when there's a focus on how we create a clean, safe, and welcoming environment, Spokane thrives.
We chose Spokane actively amongst 16 or 18 different communities. And we've been here a little over 2 years now and couldn't be happier. It's comfortable, it's a great size, it has all of the things you want without a lot of the things that you don't want of living in a big city. So it's just a great size, and again, people care and they're friendly and they're vested and they've bought in, and that's just an incredible asset.
Spokane never lost its mojo. It was always there. But yes, the hustle and bustle is back. I think we just need to keep investing and being enthusiastic about our city, and it's just going to get better from here. I think Spokane is on the crest of something absolutely wonderful, and I am so excited for the ride and to see where it goes.
So the city is moving forward and trying to find solutions, because with the price of housing, you're going to need to see different styles. New generations looking at different opportunities to be closer to their neighborhoods, closer to their other friends and families. We're housing the teachers, we're housing our airmen at Fairchild. And so these new changes are going to allow those opportunities to become reality.
I'm Randy Palazzo with Urban Empire Homes. We're infill builders. Been doing infill for many years. We're going to take this vacant lot and we're going to split it into 3 lots. And we're going to build 3 attached homes, so 3 single-family homes that are attached.
The Building Opportunity and Choices for All program was passed as a response to the housing crisis. We recognized that there was a desperate need for housing, and we also recognized that there was a lot of land available or that could be available for development if we adjusted our rules to bring them onto the market.
Boca is a great opportunity to test some ideas, some concepts, and get the community to really buy into these ideas. Like I said, these are providing housing for our friends and our neighbors.
I promised my mom I would take care of her, and in order for me to do that, this had to be one level. I'm taking care of her. She's not going to have to go to assisted living. She's staying with me. There's the front door. Where that window is the living room area.
What I'm really excited about with this program is that it opens opportunities for smaller developers and even for individual homeowners to get involved in resolving this crisis by building more housing. We need everybody to pitch in, individual homeowners included, people like Laura Dirks.
I wanted my space, and I wanted them to be able to have space and feel that they have a home and I have a home, and there was no way that was going to happen if I couldn't get an ADU with space for myself and my mom.
These areas, Spokane included, just about every city you're in needs more density, and Spokane opened the door to just that through Boca, and I'm really proud of Spokane for opening that door even before the bigger cities on the west of the Cascades like Seattle or Portland. With Spokane being the flagship for this program, I really feel that other cities are going to follow because the density is dramatically needed.
So the vision is walks in the park and sunsets from your backyard. It's housing that's affordable and available. It's taking care of each other and respecting the use of the spaces that we all share. It's enjoying dinner and a show, walking on the Centennial Trail and enjoying our beautiful Spokane River. It's short commutes and more time spent with loved ones. This is how Spokane defines community. And others have been discovering these virtues in large numbers of late. As we transition with the rest of the country through economic, workforce, housing, and mental health challenges and opportunities, we've met critical needs to emerge stronger as a community. An important next step is to reset negative self-perceptions and embrace expectations of support, accountability, and advancements that deliver peace of mind. Home ownership is the largest builder of wealth for most of us. The financial equity that grows in the home is complemented by social equity and a sense of security that comes with being part of a neighborhood. We're implementing solutions that provide greater housing accessibility and affordability. Spokane has experienced 2 consecutive years of record demand for residential and total construction to add inventory and help people realize the dream of home ownership and for families to evolve their housing as they grow. A city pilot, as you heard, has now become a state and a national model for multi-unit housing construction in traditionally single-family neighborhoods to open new pathways to more housing and ownership options. Those include smaller accessory dwelling units that are keeping families together and attached townhomes that make entry into the market much more affordable. These are big tools to meet the infill housing needs that our comprehensive plan has promoted for more than 2 decades. Spokane has achieved a 20-year high new multifamily unit to create badly needed inventory. And for those experiencing housing insecurity, we have focused a tremendous amount of resources to stabilize housing. We brought together partnerships that opened and enhanced 5 facilities in our shelter system that meet specific needs and nearly doubled our capacity to move people toward permanent housing. We secured and distributed $33 million in grant funding to provide rental and utility assistance to keep people in their homes, and we did it among the fastest in the state. Building neighborhoods to maintain the characteristics that make them special while adding new amenities has been a top priority. That included expanded access to libraries through a partnership between the city and middle schools to make better use of taxpayer money and to bring resources to underserved neighborhoods. The opening of downtown's beautiful Central Library, a 21st century facility that includes media studios, a business lab, cafe, children's play area, and meeting and event space that overlooks our Spokane Falls. And improvements to neighborhoods, parks, Riverfront Park as well, has added Spokane's quality of life and reputation as a destination. These community-defining efforts were built on trust, only possible through partnerships, and create opportunities for generations to come. They are foundational and fundamental to our reemergence and revitalization. It's how we move forward as a community to a better life for our children and for future generations.
My name is Chris Bovey. I own Vintage Print and Neon in Spokane in the Garland District, and I use my art to help people cherish those fond memories of Spokane. And I always just kept coming back to the Garland District. And I created this idea of micro-tourism, like if you're on the South Hill and you see something from the north side of one of my prints, like you might go and explore something you'd never had before. And the more that we can support our small business owners and our shops and everything and our districts and everything like that, I think the better. And because it gives people like myself the confidence to be able to step out and try something new and try being an entrepreneur in this city.
It's exactly what happened to me. Came here, fell in love with the city. I've been here for 40-some years. When I first came out, I used to work for Montgomery Ward, where the city hall is now. And I was a sucking black salesman that they ever hired there. And I had a construction company, and then I started chickening more. So this is about the 4th business I had since I've been in Spokane. And all of them been successful. We got a lot of talent here in Spokane. It's got a lot of smart, intelligent, highly educated people. But you got to use that. You got to put that in action.
I think it shows a collaboration that can happen to really make a difference for our community. And it's really putting politics aside and saying, what do we need to do for our community, for our citizens that are going to help them into the future make things happen. And that's what is beautiful about this facility, is it gives them that opportunity if they need mental health help, if they need to look at medications to help them with that. It does that. If they've got a substance abuse issue, then we can help them in that area.
This place made me feel comfortable enough to keep going with it. And I stuck with it. I'm still sticking with it.
Yeah, one of the things we're grateful for at Frontier is the support that we've received from both Spokane County and the City of Spokane, support in a number of different forms. One is just being willing to try and support new endeavors such as the behavioral health unit. Others are making financial investments and other forms of support, not just for mental health services, but also for the many other services that individuals who are struggling with mental health issues are reliant upon: housing, food, other resources.
Not having to worry about where I was going to sleep that night or what I was going to eat. I'm grateful for the help that they've given me, and just the tools that they've given me to where I can succeed.
I think the mayor's done a great job in the last year. I mean, the amount of people that are provided beds is tremendous compared to 2 years ago. I mean, now we got 350. So I think it's going in the right direction.
So I like what's going on in the city. The leadership is fantastic.
You know, I hope that people continue to stay engaged. I hope that the city continues to hire really good, really talented people that really care and are really excited about doing new things and capturing this opportunity. Just find that nice sweet spot and capture the opportunity that's in front of us.
The thing that I love about this city is, like I said, they will support a crazy kooky idea like silkscreen art and support a shop being open, and that's why Spokane rocks.
I agree. So where do we go from here, and how do we get it done? The past few years have taught us many lessons, and it's given us a new launching point, really. The tests that we've endured remind us that Spokane is unequivocally resilient. The results show us that our best outcomes are realized when we work together. The progress has directed a clear path forward in 3 critical areas. First, we're establishing and reinforcing a mindset that prioritizes community wellness and well-being. Our mental health has been shaken. Over and over again, community members express fatigue, frustration, and a loss of patience. We can all point to examples in stores, in restaurants, at work, maybe in our own homes, with our own families, where behavior has been altered. The uncertainty that we experience has come at a deep cost that has people craving stability instead of constant change. Moving forward, we must embrace compromise and demonstrate understanding. We have to appreciate the good to get to the great. And that starts with our youth. My mental health task force of community professionals is addressing the needs of our youth who have been most compromised and impacted by the events of the last couple of years. We must set the example with our own behavior and build youth supports that will make them successful for the future. Our partner experts on that task force tell us that mental health has a 30% statewide vacancy rate, with nearly 1/3 of employees leaving every single year. The result is that nearly 3/4 of organizations statewide are cutting programs or reducing access at a time when we need every single resource and more, and they tell us Spokane mirrors that data. Our work as a task force includes adding staffing and space resources to make help more accessible to youth in crisis. We're partnered as advocates at the state and federal level for additional reimbursement and funding to ensure that service providers can maintain and grow necessary resources. And we're bringing greater awareness to the tools and supports that are already in place to create more engagement points for our youth and remove the stigma of reaching out for help. Prioritizing community health and well-being also includes making better use of organizational and community resources. So looking inside our own city organization, we've established the Community Safety Initiative Work Group to improve our criminal justice system. In fact, we're reevaluating how the system can work better to deliver accountability and supports to improve public safety. This involves leveraging the best of therapeutic and traditional courts, pre- and post-conviction services, and law enforcement and community programs to help evolve that model. The ultimate outcome is a reduction in repeat offenses and overall crime rates, and accountability to the victim and to the community. Looking upstream, we need to catch people before they even enter the system by creating new opportunities for people to build financial security, create employment options, and advance their skill sets and careers. We're looking for more partnerships, like our really great collaboration that we have right now with the Small Business Administration and AHANA on a program to provide resources to multi-ethnic small business owners. These are the types of programs that lift community up and infuse hope into dreams. Finally, we looked back and looked around so that we could look forward. Our experience tells us that the best times in our city's history share a few key ingredients: big ideas that turn challenges into opportunities, critical community partnerships that work effectively across perceived boundaries, and the will to get it done. The city, with its partners and collaborators, neighbors and neighborhoods, stakeholders and volunteers, are working on 3 big ideas that will fundamentally change how we move our community forward. In many ways, Expo 74 put Spokane on the map. It transformed industry, established a clear regional center place that we all feel ownership of, and solidified our city's place in the region. That fundamental point in Spokane's history, as you all know, is about to reach a milestone. In the nearly 50 years since Expo, Riverfront Park has grown and matured into a major regional attraction that continues to draw visitors, conventions, concerts, celebrations, and sporting and community events. Numerous stakeholders have now partnered around an Expo Plus 50 celebration that returns the focus to the major investments in regional attractions in our downtown. It connects an exciting arts and entertainment district to thriving restaurants, shopping, and hospitality, all with the river and the park in the middle of it all. That celebration will come together over the next year as work finishes on the new stadium. Major events continue to fill up the podium and the Spokane Arena. The Civic Theater hosts its full performance schedule, and Riverfront Park continues to grow as an outdoor venue. The region is also coming together to more effectively and collaboratively address homelessness. The city is one of several now voices in a conversation about a regional collaborative that can fundamentally change how we provide meaningful services that move people into housing faster, more efficiently, and with better success. That conversation, with the help of a consultant, will involve everyone who has a part in visioning, funding, supporting, assisting, moving, and connecting people to services and housing. We've spoken extensively with Spokane Valley and Spokane County about spending the next few months discussing just what a longer, more formalized engagement will look like. We're happy to share that private and nonprofit community has already stepped forward in support. And finally, we're working closely with our community partners on a regional broadband effort in bringing new investment to connect areas with the greatest economic and educational opportunities for growth. It's a generational opportunity to build greater technology equity and also economic advancements for generations to come. I'm just telling you right now, Spokane has so much going for it, and we're taking the steps together to embrace the opportunities before us and rise from our new launch point. Community is about more than any one of us. It's about all of us. The lessons we learned over the past years and that our Browns Edition neighbors so eloquently captured reminded us of that. The words we heard today from our community members in the video confirm it. Our challenge today as a region is to embrace the progress, to grow the opportunities, and thrive through the power of partnership. Thank you all for being partners with us.
Thank you, Mayor. One of the challenges sometimes of this job is you're supposed to wrap it up, these couple of nuggets. And I think the thing, if you were really listening to the mayor's comments and to the videos, all of the folks across our community who were speaking in those videos today, there is a shared passion and commitment and energy for this community that we all call home. And as I think about my conversation I was having at the very beginning with Pastor Watson and Debbie, we share a whole lot more in common than we do indifferent if we keep coming together, having conversations, meeting folks that we don't know, and holding at the center that we all care so deeply about this community. So thank you for the work, Mayor, that you and the entire team across the city of Spokane do day in and day out. It's big, heavy work, and we're all a part of it. And I think that's the piece I'd encourage all of us as we leave. There was a lot of conversation about getting engaged if you're not engaged, staying engaged if you are. And there isn't an organization across this community that we don't hear about that's looking for engagement, that's looking for support, that's looking for volunteers and commissions and people to serve. We are part of shaping the community that we want to have and that we want to continue to grow. And so I think that's our challenge as we all step out of this conversation today. So with that, I want to say a big thank you for taking time to be here. I want to say a big thank you to our sponsors for making this possible, to our presenting sponsor, Numerica Credit Union, to our major sponsor, Spokane Corporate Housing, to our supporting sponsor, Idaho Central Credit Union and Washington State University, Spokane, to our event sponsors, Spokane Public Facilities District and Whitworth University, and to our official airline sponsor, Southwest Airlines. We're going to give you a few minutes, so my encouragement to you, don't race out. Reach across the table, introduce yourself to somebody, or make sure you catch that person on the way out you've been wanting to reconnect with. And with that, we hope that we'll see you either at our annual celebration on March 8th, or if you want to continue on the advocacy journey, there'll be a great group of us headed back to Washington, D.C. the end of April, and you can get all that information up there on the screen or on our website. With that, make it a great day, and keep showing up and stay warm. Thanks, everybody.